Unicorn Storytime, read by the ChanJlingHerd. Our system name is ChanJlingHerd. As a group, we use they/them pronouns, but we each also have our own pronouns. Our trans masculine body has pale skin with dark brown hair and eyes. The paintings we share are from the Pomegranate Art Book's Unicorn Datebook from 1985. The photos we share are from Robert Farba's Unicorns I Have Known from 1983. The first painting is by Laurie Stanley. This painting has a figure in a green dress sleeping among thorny plants with a unicorn looking over them, framed by trees. The first book we're going to read is Uni the Unicorn, a story about believing, by Amy Krauss Rosenthal and illustrated by Bridget Barringer. Uni the Unicorn. In almost every way, Uni was like the other unicorns. Magnificent mane, though Uni's was extra magnificent. Golden hooves, though Uni's were extra golden. Sparkling purple eyes, though Uni's were extra sparkling. Like the other unicorns, Uni had a special swirly horn with the power to heal and mend. And, like the other unicorns, Uni could make wishes come true. But there was one thing that definitely set Uni apart. Uni believed that little girls were real. Uni's friends laughed and said, "Ha ha ha, silly Uni. Everyone knows there's no such thing as little girls. They're just make-believe." At home, Uni's parents just brushed it off with knowing smiles. But Uni was absolutely certain that little girls were real, no matter what everyone else said. Uni knew that somewhere far away, but not that far away, there was a little girl waiting. A strong, smart, wonderful, magical little girl. And she would be the best friend a unicorn could ever ask for. Uni imagined all the things they would do together. They would run fast through the meadow. They would spin and twirl in the sunlight. They would explore and help forest creatures in need. Other times they would just sit quietly and talk about important things. And of course, they would slide down rainbows together. Uni fell asleep that night and had enchanted dreams. What Uni did not yet know, but would discover soon enough, was that somewhere far away, but not that far away, there was indeed a real little girl. And even though her friends said, "Ha ha ha, unicorns are just make-believe," and despite her parents' knowing smiles, this little girl was certain, absolutely certain, that there was a unicorn. A strong, smart, wonderful, magical unicorn, just waiting to be her friend. Read to you by Sune. This photo has a unicorn with a raised head against a background of tangled branches and green ferns in the foreground. Our second book is Uni the Unicorn and the Dream Come True by Amy Krauss Rosenthal and illustrated by Bridget Beringer. Uni the Unicorn and the Dream Come True. It had been raining and raining and raining in the land of unicorns, which meant there hadn't been any sunshine in what seemed like forever, which meant there hadn't been any rainbows for what seemed like forever, which meant there hadn't been any magic for what seemed like forever. Because remember, there are only 3 ways unicorns get their strength and magic: from the golden sun, from magnificent rainbows, from the sparkle of believing. Luckily, there was a bright ray of hope from the one unicorn who believed that little girls were real. And this is why Uni, and only Uni, was as strong and magical as ever. But Uni was very concerned about all the other unicorns. Meanwhile, somewhere far away, but not that far away, a little girl watched the rain from her window. Somehow she knew she was desperately needed in the land of unicorns. She was smart that way. The more it poured, the more certain she was. The harder it rained, the harder Uni believed. The longer it stormed, the more they longed to finally be together. All of a sudden, they both heard thunder. Clap, clap. They both saw lightning. Zap, zap. They closed their eyes tight and wished the same wish with all their might. Then everything went white and quiet. "It's really you," the little girl shouted. "You're really real," though Uni had never once doubted. They could have laughed and hugged for hours, but there was no time to waste. They ran quickly through the meadow. They stopped to help some forest creatures in need, and together they lifted spirits. At last they discovered the unicorns huddled under a large tree. And the unicorns discovered what Uni had known all along. It's true, you knew. Little girls are real. Believing and befriending each and every unicorn became, once again, sparkly, strong, and magical. As for the endless rain, Uni alone hadn't been able to wish it away. But together, could the unicorns make such a wish come true? Could they ever? After what seemed like forever, the rain stopped, the clouds parted, and the golden sun appeared. Uni and the little girl twirled and twirled. What they didn't know, but would marvel at soon enough, was that the sun would bring not 1, but 2 extra magnificent rainbows. And since the rainbows are the bridge between here and there, a double rainbow meant not only could the little girl return home, but there was a place for one more. Of course, of course, of course, you know who she chose. She couldn't wait for her family and friends to finally meet Uni the unicorn. Read to you by Sune and Nita. Painting by Susan Morse. This painting has a unicorn cantering away from ocean waves under a starry sky of blues and pinks. Our third book is Kevin the Unicorn, It's Not All Rainbows, written and illustrated by Jessica von Innerburn. It's not all rainbows. Everyone knows unicorns are perfect. They bring glitter and happiness to everything around them. Their smiles alone make rainbows appear. When you're a unicorn, every day is filled with magical awesomeness. That's how it was for Kevin. Until the morning he woke up on the floor. This had never happened before. Something felt different. Something was different, but Kevin knew just what to do. Always remember to smile. Keep it happy, he reminded himself. With an extra big smile, Kevin set out for a glittery, fantastic day. Sure, his day had started off on the wrong hoof, but Kevin was positive he could turn it around. However, things did not go as planned. By the time he got to town, Kevin felt a little frazzled. He had never had a less than perfect morning. Keep it happy, Kevin told himself. Maybe a glitter soda would get his day back on track. Holy hooves! The line was long, but Kevin was sure it would move quickly. It didn't, though, and by the time he got to the front, they were out of glitter soda. Keep it happy, he said to himself. Hey friend, don't worry, I'm gonna set you up with a free clam juice. Have a sparkly day. Kevin kept a smile on his face, even though his insides didn't feel smiley at all. Bump. Sploosh. Oh, sorry. Are you okay? Totally. Feeling happy and fantastic. Just like always. Who doesn't want to smell like the ocean? Kevin continued on his way. Whoa, that's a lot of birds. City Park, 84th Annual Pancakes for Happiness. Syrup is very sticky. Cupcake Bake-Off. Oh, cupcakes? Party Pit. It's your birthday, Andrew. Happy birthday, Andrew. These puppies are so cute. Kevin could no longer hide what he was really feeling. Today is not awesome or fantastic. It's definitely not sparkly. It's horrible. This is a really horrible, lousy, awful day. I'm having a bad day, too. There's clam juice on my favorite shirt. This donut has been stuck on my horn for a week, and I'm pretending it's not there. There's glitter in my eye. There's glitter in both my eyes. It turns out unicorns don't always have perfect magical days. And that's okay. Read to you by Marcus. This photo has a close-up of a unicorn sniffing green leaves. Pink lavender flowers circle the horn, and strands of yellow flowers hang down in the mane. There is the blur of trees and green in the background. Our fourth book is Margaret's Unicorn, written and illustrated by Bryony Mae Smith. Margaret's Unicorn. My whole world changed when we moved to a faraway place, to a cottage in the mountains, to be near Grandma. Everything smelled different and strange, and the house was full of empty spaces. That first afternoon, Dad said, "Margaret, why don't you go exploring? By the time you come back, your new room will look just like your old room. I promise." Mom put hot chocolate in a thermos. "Be careful not to go farther than the big stone," she said, and gave me a kiss. When I reached the big stone at the end of our garden, I saw the sea spread out before me. A heavy fog was traveling through the sky, and soon the water was covered in mist. No, that wasn't mist. It was clouds. No, they weren't clouds. They were white horses. No, not horses. Unicorns. They were leaping into the air, swept up by the wind, and then in a blink, they were gone. I started to run back to tell Mom and Dad when I heard a snuffling noise. I tiptoed closer and closer, down a little dip where something silvery lay tangled in the weeds. "A baby," I gasped. Carefully I freed him, then wrapped him up in my coat. When I got home, Grandma was at the door. She'd come by to help us unpack. "I didn't think there were any left," she said. I told her about the herd that had flown past me. "When I was a girl," she said, smiling, "we would watch the unicorns fly off to Unicorn Island on the late summer wind." Grandma told me everything she knew about unicorns. They only eat flowers, but there aren't enough here to feed them all year round. Every spring I would wait for them to come back to eat the young heather and thistles that grow across the mountains. I looked out our cottage window. There were hardly any flowers to be seen. "What will we feed him?" I asked. Grandma thought for a moment. "Let's go," she said. We jumped into the car and headed into town. At a small shop, we bought bunches of flowers for my little unicorn. When we got home, we fed him. "What do unicorns drink?" I asked Grandma. "Water that has been touched by moonlight," she explained. "It's what makes their horns glow in the dark. It's what gives them their magic." I stroked my unicorn's mane, and Grandma and I fished pillows out of the moving boxes to make him a cozy nest near my bed. After Mom and Dad had finished unloading the boxes, they came in to find us with my little unicorn. Mom knelt beside him, and he nuzzled her hand. That night, Dad and I pulled on our boots and headed out to the hills. As soon as the moon touched the stream, we filled buckets with water and carried them home. The water glowed in our dark garage. My unicorn drank as we watched him, amazed. When I went to sleep, I let the little unicorn climb into bed with me, and I stroked his speckled coat. My unicorn whimpered. I was so excited to have found him. I'd forgotten how scared he must be. It's okay, I whispered. Spring will be back in no time. The next day, my unicorn and I went for a walk. We crunched through the leaves and caught them as they floated down from the trees. I picked up a horse chestnut, opened it carefully, and touched its soft inside, which felt like a little fairy fur coat. That evening, we watched the stars come out before heading to bed. They seemed so much brighter here than in our old town. By the time all the trees were bare, my little unicorn had grown comfortable in our cottage. One of our favorite things to do was go to the beach and chase the waves. The white foam looked like unicorns, rolling and disappearing into the sandy shore. Then we'd race home with cold fingers and toes and hooves. A fire, I'd tell my unicorn, is the best thing to cozy up to. We'd curl up together and listen to the rain tap, tap, tap on the window. Isn't that the loveliest sound? I'd say. At Christmas, we decorated the tree, and the house was filled with the smells of our old home. When it snowed for the first time, my unicorn was dazzled by it, and by how quiet everything was. We walked down the road and stomped on the frozen puddles. Together, we made a snow unicorn. Dad broke off an icicle that hung from the roof, and we gave it a crystal horn. I was missing our old home less and less. The weather grew warmer, and I saw buds appear on trees and green shoots start to push up through the ground. Yellow gorse and dandelion flowers started to bloom in the hills. Soon I knew my unicorn's family would come back, and he would leave. When a unicorn is your friend, you wish spring would stay far away. On the first day of spring, as we sat on the hill, the unicorns floated down from the sky like snowflakes. Slowly, one of them, with chocolate brown eyes and a soft pink nose, drew close. My unicorn skipped toward her, leaning against her white coat. He nuzzled her cheek. I knew this must be his mother. It was time to say goodbye to my unicorn. Please don't forget me, I whispered into a silky ear as I hugged him tightly. Now spring has come and gone, and the days have grown longer. I've made some new friends, but I do still miss my unicorn. One day we were walking over the hills, Mom and Dad and Grandma, my friend Abby and me. As Abby and I were searching for bugs in the tall grass, something nudged my arm, and I turned in surprise. It was my unicorn. He had grown so much already and lost his baby coat. When he raised his head, he was taller than me, wild and beautiful. I plucked a sprig of heather from its stem and held out my palm. Cautiously, my unicorn ate it from my hand, watching me with his dark eyes. His ears flicked back and forth, listening to all around him. I wanted to reach out and touch him. He took one more flower, and then he must have heard something, or maybe I moved too quickly, because he turned and galloped away in an instant. I scrabbled a few paces after him, and watched him disappear into the mountains. He was gone. I turned to Abby, who looked on in amazement. "That was an old friend," I said. Mom called. It was time to head home, through the heather and the thistles, to our cottage in the mountains. The end. Read to you by Will. This surreal painting by Dale Rudder has a metallic unicorn standing at the base of the face of a clock, with ripples of nebulous colors on its face and planetary bodies in place of numbers. The moon is clear and full, just above and left of the center of the face clock, where decorative hands reach from. Our fifth book is Layla, the Last Black Unicorn, by Tiffany Haddish, co-written by Geraldine Nolan and illustrated by Jessica Gibson. Layla, the Last Black Unicorn. Layla loved summertime in the Overlook Woods. She loved having nothing to do but explore every nook and cranny of the forest. Along with her friends, Gwendolyn Goblin, Olivia Fairy, and Celia Cat, Layla would spend her days searching the highest branches of the mumsin trees for the sweetest hanging fruit, chasing spirits until she was too tired to move, and exploring every twist and turn of Melvin Minotaur's maze. But at this summer's end, things were different. As soon as the first leaf fell, Layla knew it was time to start going to school. Layla lived in the heart of the forest with Trevor Troll. Trevin had watched over her and cared for her since Layla was barely old enough to trot on her own. He was kind and silly and had a laugh that could shake the clouds. "Do I really have to go to school tomorrow?" Layla asked Trevin as he tucked her in for the night. "Everybody has to go to school, Layla. It's nothing to be scared of. It's where you start to show the world how truly special you are." "But I'm not ready," Layla argued. "Yes, you are," Trevin said, smiling as he tickled her behind her ear. "Trust me, she ready." The next morning, Layla put on a brave smile as she first stepped through the grand gates of Unicornia. As she peered into the main courtyard, she thought she was in a dream. There were unicorns everywhere. On the blacktop, a group of unicorns was playing hornball while they waited for the first bell to ring. "That's a 2 for Peachy Pink," a blue unicorn said. "No way, Babsy," a rose-colored unicorn shot back. "It totally missed, so it's a dunkster. You lose a turn." Babsy seemed to know her friend was right, so she lowered her horn and stepped out of the circle. The ball started to whiz around again as one unicorn after another slapped, whapped, and kicked it. Layla tried to keep up with the action, but it was all moving too fast. That said, the game did look like a lot of fun. So when the ball skipped out and rolled over to her, Layla tried to throw it back, but... pop! "Hey, newbie, you just wrecked the game," Babsy said. "It was an accident," Layla tried to explain. "I didn't know the rules. We don't play hornball in Overlook Woods." "Oh," Peachy said, shaking her head. "Newbie's just woodsy." All the other unicorns laughed as the last bell rang to start the day. Unfortunately for Layla, things did not get much better from there. She got lost on the way to her homeroom, had no one to eat lunch with, and sat in someone's chewing gum during recess. If this was her showing off how special she was, Layla would just as soon have hidden behind a mumsin tree for the rest of eternity. But she knew she had to go back again the next day, and she was determined to find a way to fit in. Layla asked her friend Olivia Fairy to do her mane, so it was awesome all over. Gwendolyn Goblin showered glitter around her legs and hooves, and Celia Cat made bows out of leaves and beads out of beetles. "Now she ready?" Layla sang as she danced a little dance. But when Layla stepped off the bus the next morning, Babsy Baby Blue took one look at her and said, "Oh my! Bows and beads and bangles and glitter. This girl is so very woodsy." By the third day, Layla didn't want to go back to school at all. Finally, Trevin knocked on her bedroom door. "You're going to be late, Layla." "I'm not going," Layla shot back. "I hate Unicornia. Everyone there calls me Woodsy." "Woodsy?" Trevor laughed that wonderful honking laugh of his. "If I had an ingot for every time someone called me Woodsy, I'd be one rich troll." Layla buried her head further under her pillow. "They just don't know how special you are yet, Layla. Just be ready, and I promise your time to shine will come." Later, at the bus stop, Layla imagined having Trevin on one shoulder, Gwendolyn on the other, and placed Olivia and Celia in her heart. No matter how mean the other unicorns were, no one could take away what she had inside. That day, Mrs. Carasor arranged a walking field trip into the fiddle-dee-deep forest. Miss Carasor partnered up with Layla as they wandered into the woods, but she was so busy looking at her compass and cantering along, talking about the beauties of the world around them, that she didn't notice that there was a large patch of devil's shoestring and ouchy-wouchy shrubs right in front of her. "Oh, dearie me," Mrs. Carasor cried. "Bumbly shocks and fiddly hawks, my foot, it's trapped." "It's the shrub, Mrs. Carasor," Layla said, running over to the whispering willow tree. "I know how to get it to let go." Layla gave a branch to each unicorn. "Now do what I do," she told the class. "Tickle the ouchy-wouchy shrub." "Tickle the plant?" Babsy exclaimed. "Seriously?" "It's the only way. Nothing can hurt you while it's laughing." And much to the whole class's amazement, it worked. Mrs. Carson got up and dusted herself off, but when she bent down to get the things she dropped, she cried out, "Oh dear, no, my compass is broken." "Don't worry, Mrs. Carson. I grew up in these woods. We don't need a compass to find our way." But then, suddenly, a huge thud shook the ground, and the woods around them grew dark. "I'm scared," Babsy Baby Blue shuddered as the unicorns all clustered together. "I don't like the dark." "Oh, you guys, there's nothing to fear," Layla told them as she turned around. "That's just Melvin Minotaur. We must have accidentally wandered near the entrance to his maze." "Hey, Layla," Hey, Melvin. Layla smiled. We're a little lost. Can you help us find our way back to school? It would be my pleasure, Melvin told her, before turning to the rest of the unicorns. And you know, I used to be scared of the dark too. Before I met Layla, that is. Then I learned when something's black, it's really just where all the colors meet. When they got back to school, Miss Tulip, the principal, was waiting for them. Layla, you're a hero, she exclaimed. Nah, Layla explained and smiled. It's just how I am. She ready, she told her teacher as she did her little dance. She ready, she ready. Read to you by Marcus and Sune. This photo shows a unicorn fording across a river in shallow water just above the knees. There are different levels of rocks and water. The back half of the photo is a cascading waterfall. Our sixth book is A Unicorn Named Sparkle and the Perfect Valentine by Amy Young. A Unicorn Named Sparkle and the Perfect Valentine. It's Valentine's Day and there's a party, said Lucy. I'm going to make cards for our friends. I will tell each friend what I love about them. She got busy. Don't worry, no one expects a Valentine from a unicorn, so my cards can be from both of us. There were a lot of things Sparkle loved about Lucy. He loved her curly black hair. He loved her great big laugh. He loved that she loved him best of all. But how could he tell her all that? Maybe he could make a card and surprise her. He took some paper and paint and snuck off to work in secret. As a unicorn, Sparkle was great at a lot of things. He could make rainbows shoot out of his horn. He could eat 20 cupcakes at a time and not get sick. And he could poop glitter. But he had never made a card before, and he didn't know how. He cut a heart shape with his horn. It was harder than he thought. He kept trying until he got that one that was okay. He didn't know how to write, so to say that he loved Lucy's curly black hair, he made a hoof mark. To say that he loved her great big laugh, he made another hoof mark. And to say that he loved her best of all, he made a third hoof mark. He pressed so hard that it tore the paper. The card was all done. It looked good to Sparkle. But then Lucy said, Look, Sparkle, I wrote a poem for Shayla. Shayla, Shayla, sweet as pie, be my friend or I will cry. Let's be friends forevermore and play till we are 94. Lucy and Sparkle. I wrote poems for all our friends. Sparkle realized that his Valentine wasn't done after all. It needed a poem. McKenna, I'd walk a mile for your smile. When Cole plays a drum, we have lots of fun. L and S. Lori loves cats. Cats love Lori. Those are the facts. That is the story. From Lucy and Sparkle. Beatrice is good at art. Plus she has a great big heart. L and S. Mia writes poems. She does it all the time. She's funny and she's witty, and she always finds a rhyme. L&S. Hey there, Jack. How do you do it? You play the fiddle like there's nothing to it. Little Lucy and Sparkle. Kate. Pigs say oink, cows say moo. I say, Kate, how do you do? L and S. To Olivia. You know you are a pal of mine. Will you be my Valentine? Lucy and Sparkle. He tried his best. He dipped his horn in the paint and made squiggly line on the card. As he did that, he thought of this poem. Sometimes I'm smelly, sometimes I'm a pest, but I'll always love you, the best of the best. There, now his card was done. Sparkle, called Lucy. It's time to go to the party. Come on. As soon as they got there, Sparkle could see that all the other cards were much, much fancier than his. Next to the others, Sparkle's card looked messy and torn. It didn't have any glitter or lacy trim on it. The writing wasn't even real. When he thought no one was looking, he stuffed it into the trash. But Lucy saw him and said, "What are you doing?" She pulled the card out from the basket. It had a bit of frosting on it, and it was crumpled up. Lucy looked at the funny-shaped heart. She looked at the hoof marks and torn paper. She looked at the squiggle. She said, "Did you make this, Sparkle?" Sparkle hung his head. "For me?" Sparkle nodded. Even though Lucy didn't understand what the card said, she understood what it meant. It meant that Sparkle loved her best of all. She laughed a great big laugh and said, "I love this. It's perfect." Sparkle felt like the luckiest unicorn in the world. To celebrate, he danced on the table and shot rainbow stars out of his horn. There was a star for everyone. Then he ate 21 cupcakes. They were delicious. Lucy said, "I made a special card for you, Sparkle." Lucy read Sparkle the poem. "I love cupcakes, rainbows too, but best of all, I love you, forever and ever, Lucy." It was perfect, too. Read to you by Nawa and Tanuki. This painting by Mark Mail has a unicorn emerging from behind a colossal stone head to drink from a lake. There are remnants of snow in the crevices of the stone statue and along the edges of the thinly frozen lake. There are hazy trees in the background. Our 7th book is Manolo and the Unicorn by Jackie Azura Kramer and Jonah Kramer, illustrated by Zach Manbeck. Manolo and the Unicorn. To Manolo, the world was a magical place. On his way to school, Manolo caught lively ladybugs and counted their spots. He fed dandelions to a curious rabbit and stopped to listen to a chorus of noisy frogs. But he always looked out for the most magical creature of all. A unicorn. Wild, graceful, and extraordinary. In a journal stuffed with sketches, scribbles, and samples, Manolo took note of any signs of a unicorn. He heard the school bell ring, slipped his magnifying glass in his pocket, and raced into class. As his teacher made morning announcement, silence. Tomorrow is the Wild Animal Parade. Are we ready to share our favorite animal? Sounds from the wilderness filled the classroom. Roar, hiss, screech, chirp, snort, neigh. I'm going to be a koala. Peacocks are the prettiest. Lions are the strongest. I'm going to be a unicorn, Manolo said. Unicorns aren't real. Boys don't like unicorns. I do, he replied. Manolo's classmates snickered and ran off to play on the jungle gym, leaving him alone. Now the world felt ordinary. Maybe they're right, he said to the lonely ladybugs and the puzzled rabbits, and the chorus of frogs, now sadly silent. Maybe unicorns aren't real. Then Manolo heard the sharp snap of a twig and the crunch of leaves. A unicorn, Manolo whispered. Manolo remembered what he had read about unicorns and bowed his head. Manolo grabbed hold of the unicorn's mane, and off they galloped deep into the forest. Woo-hoo-hoo! Wherever the unicorn went, the flowers opened wider, the trees stood taller, and the sun shone brighter. Manolo learned to gallop swiftly and gracefully with the unicorns, leap across lakes, and forage for wild nettle and mint. The unicorns welcomed Manolo as one of them. With a quick swish of the unicorn's tail, a shimmery strand as light as air and as strong as iron fell into his hand. Around a crackling fire, they feasted on wild flower honey, and the world was magical once again. Manolo looked up at the morning star and thought about home. He wanted to share this magic with everyone. The bright light of a new day woke Manolo. In his hand he found the gift from the unicorn. He jumped out of bed and quickly began to cut, glue, and sew his costume. Do you need help, Manolo? No thanks. I can do this. The day of the Wild Animal Parade, the festive menagerie posed in their costumes. Manolo shook his silky mane, he swished his shimmery tail, and bowed his head, crowned with a shining horn. Tell us all about unicorns, Manolo, his teacher said. Manolo's heart raced as he looked out at all the wild things. A unicorn will only reveal itself to those who are pure of heart. Unicorns live in a secret place by a waterfall, and one strand of unicorn's tail is as strong as iron. Manolo's classmates stared in silence. Then one hand slowly stretched in the air. Are unicorns hard to find? Not if you know where to see them. Does a unicorn's horn have any special property? I want to meet a unicorn. Can we go together? Soon the classroom echoed with chatter and laughter and ohs and ahs. So, in a forest of wild animals led by a unicorn, the flowers opened wider, the trees stood taller, the sun shone brighter, and so did Manolo. This photo shows a pair of unicorns. Read to you by Nawa, Tanuki, and Marcus. This photo shows a pair of unicorns standing together in a field of sunflowers. The sunflowers cover the entire page and come up well past the unicorn's legs, with only their backs, heads, and necks showing. They are nuzzling, one standing slightly in front of the other. Our 8th and final book is Invasion of the Unicorns by David Bedrzynski. Invasion of the Unicorns. Day 1. Secret Ancient. Bubble 07 reporting. Dear Fearless Leader, success! I have reached planet Earth. You were right. We look exactly like the toy animals here. The Earthlings will never guess that I'm an alien and a spy. My mission is to decide if our unicorn army should invade this planet and make Earthlings our humble servants. First, I must allow myself to be captured by an Earthling family. This won't be easy. Their countless attempts to fetch me have not gone well. I have witnessed what Earthlings call temper tantrums. Day 3. At last, an Earthling father has snagged me for his daughter. He did a happy dance. Now that my mission has begun, I must be careful. Earthling dog might be on to me. Day 4. Fearless Leader. Earthlings make no sense. Their dog brings all sorts of mud and dirt into the house. But who gets thrown into the washing machine and dryer? Me. Day 5. Fearless Leader. You're not going to believe this. Every time Earthling daughter gets a new toy, she has a tea party. She loves her toys, loves them to pieces. Some are missing their eyeballs. Is this going to happen to me? Day 11. Fearless Leader. Camping is a strange Earthling adventure. Earthlings sit around a fire and eat something called s'mores while they tell scary stories. And then, get this, they sleep outside. I couldn't sleep a wink. Day 20. Today I rode in a big yellow transport with Earthling daughter and her friends. Some of them brought their favorite toys. Others brought their favorite pets. And then there were those who forgot to bring their manners. Fearless Leader, it might be time to invade this hostile planet. Day 32. This is the last straw. Today Earthling dog tried to bury me in the backyard. Fortunately, Earthling mother was there to rescue me. Later I got revenge. When everyone was sleeping, I found the most amazing Earthling treat. Peanut butter cookies. I left the empty bag next to Earthling dog. Fearless Leader, before you come rescue me, I must get this cookie recipe for our planet. Day 50. Hold off on the rescue. I actually had some fun. Today was a snow day. There's no school, but lots of snow. Kids eat it, throw it, and slide down it. I wish we had snow on our planet. Day 63. It was Earthling daughter's birthday today. What a party! I think we should celebrate these special days on our planet. However, I would not invite Earthling dog. What a party animal. Day 86. Every night, Earthling mother reads us a bedtime story, tucks us in, and then kisses us good night. I can't believe I look forward to this earthling behavior. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Fearless leader, why don't we do bedtime stories on our planet? Day 90. Earthling daughter had her swim lesson today. I didn't know that earthlings float. Unicorns don't. Day 98. Earthling daughter is sick today. She sneezed and coughed all over me, but I didn't mind. Hugging me seems to make her feel better. Day 99. Yep, she's all better. I highly recommend hugs. Day 100. My final report to you, fearless leader. These earthlings are a kind and loving family. Their dog needs to learn to behave, but other than that, I really like it here. So I'd say forget the invasion and send more of us to Earth for a unicorn vacation. Read to you by Tanuki and Marcus. Thanks for coming. We hope you enjoyed our unicorn story time. See our transcript for links to all the books we read today.